Welcome everybody to the ICTY's International Women's Day celebration for 2011. For those of you who don't know me already, I'm Michelle Jarvis and I'm the ICTY's focal point for women. Today's celebration continues something that has become somewhat of a tradition here at ICTY over the past few years. Each year, the ICTY focal point, in collaboration with the staff union, organises a guest speaker and a reception to mark International Women's Day, which is officially observed on the 8th of March. This year, our celebration takes on a special significance because 2011 marks the 100th anniversary of International Women's Day. The event started in 1911 in Austria, Denmark, Germany and Switzerland as a day for women and men to press their demands for women to be accorded some fairly fundamental rights. The right to work, the right to vote, the right to take political office, and to try and eliminate discrimination against women more generally. 100 years on, women have made some pretty significant progress towards achieving these objectives, at least in some parts of the world. But does that mean that International Women's Day has lost its relevance in 2011? That's a theme we're going to explore in our program of events today. We have a really interesting and varied program for you today. We're going to begin in a few moments with a word of welcome from ICTY Registrar Mr. John Hocking, and this will be followed by our guest speaker today, Ms. Patricia Sellers, who will give her observation on the continued relevance of International Women's Day in 2011, our theme topic. Then ICTY Deputy Prosecutor Mr. Norman Farrell will give a short comment on the same topic. And we also want to hear your views as staff members and guests here at ICTY. So we've scheduled some time to open up the floor for a debate with questions and comments. After our discussion, we'll take a few moments to launch the new website of the ICTY Focal Point for Women and explain to you some of the resources that we've made available on the website for our staff members that we think will be of interest to you. And finally, we have a choir, Les Fatales, to sing us into the end of our program and into refreshments which have been organised today courtesy of the staff union. So we'll move into the program. We have quite a bit to get through, as you'll see. So I hand the floor now to ICTY Registrar Mr. John Hocking.
Good afternoon. Thank you all for coming. And welcome to you all, Mr. Prosecutor, ICTY staff and those guests from outside who have come here this afternoon to join us in celebrating the International Women's Day for 2011. But particular thanks to Michelle Jarvis and her team. Michelle is the focal point for women, and to the staff union under the leadership of Rick Cottam. Today's event is a joint event organised by both the staff union and the focal point for women. International Women's Day is a very important event at the ICTY. It goes to the very core of the mission of the United Nations. The UN is a committed equal opportunity employer. It's adopted policies, regulations, reflective of this commitment. The problem lies in the implementation of that commitment, and particularly in areas that are routinely dominated by men. Most of you know our Chief of Security, Bonnie Atkins. Many of you may not know that Bonnie is the only female Chief of Security in the entire United Nations. And in fact, in the 65-year history of the United Nations, Bonnie is the first and only female Chief of Security. And that was something that did not happen until her appointment in 2006. Our work here at the ICTY, our jurisdictional basis, the wars that took place in the former Yugoslavia, they show us the extreme, the pernicious consequences of prejudice. And our guest speaker today was instrumental in raising awareness of and bringing prosecutions of some of those who were responsible for the gender-based violence that took place during the wars in the former Yugoslavia. It's a great honour for me to welcome here today, to welcome back to the ICTY Patty Sellers as our guest speaker. But it's also a great pleasure to see such a wonderful turnout, to see all of you here to help us celebrate 2011 International Women's Day. Thank you very much for coming.